Hey everybody, and welcome to Maine Wedding Buzz. I'm really excited. This is our 32nd show, I believe, and we're going strong. I really appreciate everybody watching the show and continued support on this with all of our vendors who come on. And today we have Brittany Rae from Brittany Rae Photography today joining us. Thank you, Brittany, for joining us.
Thank you.
So I'm going to start off by tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm not a native Mainer. I moved here about 10 and a half years ago with my husband. We were still dating at the time, and we moved here to South Portland. So I wasn't fully into photography then. I was doing a lot of portraits and landscapes. It wasn't until, I think about 2008 is when I first shot my first wedding.
Oh, wow.
So
it's interesting, 2008 is about when we moved here as well. So it seems like 2008 brought a lot of new wedding vendors into this state, which
Yeah.
I'm finding interesting every time I interview somebody. Where'd you come from?
Connecticut.
Nice.
Don't tell anyone.
That's all we're talking about. So has photography always been in your blood?
It has. My dad was a photographer, more of a hobbyist though. He didn't do it as work, but there was always cameras around the house. He was always taking pictures. I mean, we have stacks and stacks of old albums at home, which is great.
Like the darkroom kind?
Yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
that's cool. That's interesting because that's sort of a faded art anymore sometimes.
Yeah, real film.
Real film, exactly, where you have to load it in. So is that how you got started in 2008, like fully into your photography studio, I'm going to assume, or?
No, when I'd first graduated college, well before that, I won't say a year, but when I graduated college that winter, a friend came to me and her friend was getting married. And she's like, will you photograph it? I know you have cameras. You know, the typical, I have a friend with a camera, they'll do it. And I was like, all right, sure. Because she's like, if you don't come do it, no one's going to shoot their wedding. So I was like, I'll give it a try. So I had my dad's old film camera, which I knew how to work. And then that was just when digital was starting to come into play. And the bride wanted, her previous marriage, there was something, and they wanted only digital images of her children because there was a custody battle, and she's like, I don't want pictures going to a film place. So I took digital images, which I didn't know. I had like a Nikon Coolpix. It was about this big. It had interchangeable lenses, but it was so small, and it was just, I shot that. That was 2003. Oops, I just gave away the year I graduated college. But so I didn't shoot weddings for a long time after that because that was a trial by fire. It was, the bride had broken a rib with pneumonia, so she wasn't going to walk down the aisle. The groom's son.
So you had a lot of challenges.
Yeah. The groom's son had shaved off an eyebrow and dyed his hair blue the night before the wedding. So it was a lot. And I was just like, okay, that was my first wedding ever. So I was like, I'm going to put this on the back burner and just continue with portraits and landscapes.
So I love hearing stuff like that. So do you usually go yourself, or do you have a second, is that what they call it, second shooters that are there? So do you have a second shooter?
I do. He's actually my husband. So yeah, he's coming on full board this year. So he'll be at all the weddings.
So are you training him, or does he come with the photo?
He's already been trained. We've been working on it for a couple of years now, but he would only take a few weddings with me. But this year he's coming on for all of them. So. And
how is it working with your partner?
It's good. Yeah, it's fun because we get to spend Saturdays together, and I think I'm a lot more outgoing when he's there with me. So it's, we have a good time.
And it's nice to have that familiarity, to be familiar with somebody that you can feel comfortable with and know that they're going to have your back and take care of your business because you're one in the same. So I like that feeling.
I carry my gear.
Yeah, and do you work as a team with other shooters as well, or is it just him for right now?
It's just him right now. I do have other second shooters that I do work with. So if it's a huge job, with multiple locations, I may bring in another photographer to handle the details at the venue. Because if he's with the groom and I'm with the bride and everything's a really tight schedule, I might hire a third person to come in and just handle the details.
The room, the setup,
yeah,
the look, the logistics of
the
that
venue
part of it.
and stuff. Yeah.
And how many events do you do in a weekend?
It just depends on the distance between them. We usually do either a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but if they're a big distance apart, we'll only do one.
Okay. So. And how far do you travel? Do you go from one area of the state to another, or do you travel out of state?
I travel everywhere.
Oh, wow.
Yep, we've done a Florida wedding. We do a couple Connecticut's a year. So
you still have your ties to Connecticut?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so what would you say you do a year in weddings? How many?
This year we have 26, which is the most we've ever done.
That's
So
excellent.
I'm a little
Congratulations.
nervous. Thank you.
Congratulations. Are they a lot back to back, or are they spread out?
August. August is the huge month. I have every weekend is double booked in August. So
That's been crazy for everybody. A lot of 29th seems to be the magic number in August. I don't know if that's what you're feeling too, but 29th we've had to turn down a lot of work.
yeah.
And how long does it take from start to finish with a bride and groom? And I get always different answers from photographers who have been on the show. But you know, say I'm getting married and we have our consultation, the wedding has happened. When would I, see my album or my prints? How would that work?
My goal now is I've been turning around the finished images from the wedding within 3 to 4 weeks. So, and then
Excellent.
I release the album proof at the same time. I pre-design my albums and kind of, because when you get a gallery of 900 images, it's a little overwhelming to go through and pick, say, your favorite 200.
Okay.
So I pre-design the album and tell a story, but then they're free to make as many changes as they want. I just want to give them a starting point.
Do they look at the 900 photos or 200?
They get the gallery of 900 plus images
Wow.
at the same time as they get their album proof.
Holy moly. And
So.
album meaning disc or an album like this beautiful
album
piece
like
right
this.
here?
Yep.
And I'm going to hold this up because this is glass.
Yep.
And it's a really pretty book to have on your table.
Yes.
And I love the fact, and what are the photos? What are these mounted on? Is it just an actual photo mounted as a page?
Yep.
How does that work?
Everything is printed as a page and then mounted onto mapboard.
And then you can have this, and you said this was glass,
Yep.
correct? Beautiful piece. I love it. I love the way it looks, the way it feels. It's pretty heavy too. It's got a nice book
Got a good
weight to
workout.
it. Yeah, exactly. So you could actually almost after the wedding, after 4 weeks, be finished with the bride and groom,
Yep.
which is really quick. That's
Yeah.
a great turnaround.
I like to have everything done for them. I try to get at least their sneak peek up within 24 hours. And then that way it gets the excitement. They get to see some of their images from the day. And then I work on fine tuning everything. And then within 4 weeks they have.
And earlier, before we were rolling camera, you told me a little bit about what you do at the actual wedding. You set up your laptop with photos
Yep.
of what you've done beforehand so that people can have a sneak peek right there at the wedding
Yep.
and put little cards out, which is really an interesting thing. Do people like that?
Yeah, my brides love it. They get probably about 20 to 30 images from their getting ready, some of their portraits, a couple close-ups of the ceremony, things that maybe the guests, they get to see the ceremony, but they don't get to see the portraits. They don't get to see any of the getting ready.
Putting the wedding dress on.
Yeah, and so they really like to see that. And then they have cards with their personal gallery address on it, so guests aren't bugging the bride. When do I get to see your photos? Where are your
They
photos?
can go right on there and see it.
Yep, it's all
Wow,
right there.
That's incredible. That's a really good feature to have. How far are you willing to travel? I know you said you'd go anywhere, Florida and
Anywhere.
so
Yeah.
Thailand if they're taking you.
Absolutely.
Nice. So
I have to
anybody
look into
getting married out there, let's get Brittany booked out there.
I could use a tan.
Exactly. How do you deal with inclement weather? That's something in this state sometimes that we have to worry about.
Yeah.
June, July, rain, April is crazy.
April's been bad this year.
So how do you, if somebody wants to get married outside, do you just go with the flow or do you just sort of kind of redirect them?
I go with the flow. I always tell my brides, buy an umbrella because then it won't rain. And it's happened a couple weeks ago. It was 80% chance of rain the entire day. And they brought matching umbrellas to go with everything. They're like, we're still going to do it even if it's raining. And there was not a cloud in the sky, and it was 80% chance of rain all day. And I'm like, see?
Buy an umbrella. So that's our thing for today. Buy an umbrella. I like that. What's your take on first look?
I like them. It just depends on when people want to do them. A lot of times couples will think about a first look, and if they're thinking that their ceremony is going to start at 3, their first look is closer to 1. If they want something on the beach at 1 in, say, July or August, it's going to be hot and their makeup's going to get melty. So I always say take that into consideration. Where do you want to do your first look? What time do you think it'll be at? Because we're happy either way. Like the first look gives them a little bit more time for
Together.
family time and cocktail hour that they get to spend with family.
And you can enjoy your cocktail
Yeah.
hour, which is a really important part of the wedding too, because
Yeah.
a lot of people say they miss that, but with the first look, you can get a
Yeah.
lot of your photos out of the way and capture more of that photojournalistic feel during the cocktail hour.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about these photos, which this is beautiful.
I love this one. It was, this bride was from Canada. Oh, thank you. This bride was from Canada, and she came down for a Cape Cod wedding. So it was her dream to get married on the beach, and she was from the middle of Canada, so, and she brought her daughter with her. So a lot of my brides actually have kids with them, so.
It really is. It's a sweet moment. It's very sweet.
Yeah. So they were just playing in the hotel room, and I was just like, oh, hold on. So. And then this is one of my other favorites of the day is the groom crying. So I love first looks, but I also love this.
Yeah.
So, you know, if
that minute you see what's going on,
yeah. I always say if you're a crier, you might want to get it done first so you can have your makeup retouched.
Exactly.
Or, you know, if you think your groom's going to cry, do you want this?
It's a great image.
So.
It tells a lot. It's fun. I love photos that tell a story, and you can quickly tell this, you know, it's beautiful. I love it.
Thank you. And then
you can't
this
go
is
wrong
one of
with
my
the water.
favorites. Oh, yes.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
Is that here in Maine, I'm going to assume?
Yep, that was at the Colony.
Beautiful.
So right on their beach. It was a perfect night, so. And then that's my husband.
There's our second shooter.
I thought this is his
great.
personality.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, we were set up at an event out on Peaks Island to showcase the photo booth. This is our photo booth.
Oh, so you do a photo booth. Oh,
yep.
Awesome. Great.
Yeah.
Tell us, we'll talk about that too.
So. And then
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I love a lot of couples that are calling me now for this image, and I say the stars have to align
Exactly.
perfectly.
I was going to say you didn't recreate that. That's that moment.
That was the sky.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So I had just taken last April.
It's almost like there's a rocket shooting up or something.
It's the Milky Way.
Beautiful. Thank you. I'm not good at that part. So
yeah.
That is incredible.
No,
Did you know that was going to happen, or just?
We didn't know how it would line up, but we knew if the sky was clear. Last April, I took a all-night astrophotography class.
Wow.
And it was great to learn more landscape stuff, but also I wanted to incorporate my couples into this. And we've actually recreated this shot a couple times at different venues.
Where was this venue at?
This was in Bar Harbor.
Wow.
But we've redone it out at Sunday River as well.
The sky is just magnificent.
You have to be in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So, which is surprising because Bar Harbor is pretty bright, but
wow, that's beautiful.
we were able to get it. And the tent was actually lighting them, so.
Oh, it was? Wow.
Their tent was right about here.
Wow, I love the shadow and everything. Wow.
Yeah.
I thought maybe you had up, from behind, put some lighting.
Nope.
Excellent.
So, we'll just go there, kiss, hold still. Don't move. They don't mind it. And then this is another one of my favorite. It's the dad seeing the daughter for the first time, and that's just, I love it.
Yeah, it's a cute picture.
So.
I always say, I wonder how I'm going to be when Sophia gets married. She's 9. She's not getting married right away, but yeah. I think I'll be like that.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be a big crybaby.
They were adorable. So I think that was it. Yep, like that.
We'll talk about the photo booth, because that's awesome.
Yeah, here, I'll bring back up that image. I'll stare at my husband being funny. Yeah, it's
so you do a backdrop? Do you switch the backdrop?
No, we have the gold sequin backdrop. I do have the 1980s laser backdrop that I got on a whim at a auction, just for fun. Because when I was in school, my mom never would pay for the laser upgrade. So then I came home with the backdrop, and I'm like, I have it.
Nice, I love that.
But
are you finding that more and more an interacting part of a wedding to have a photo booth there?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to have as a all-inclusive type package. So they get the photographer and their photo booth, and the photo booth images actually go up within 24 hours as well.
Wow.
So.
And do you do like a take-home, so that if I'm there at the wedding and I do a shot inside the photo booth, do I get a photo, or do I have to go onto the website?
You have to go to the website.
Onto the website?
We found that a lot of guests leave it behind because they're in the rush to get everything. They've got their favor, they've got their purse, they've got jackets, shawls. The print gets left behind.
You're right. We clean up a lot of that, and we gather it up.
Now they get to go online when they get home, and they can download it right from there. The downloads are free. It's included in the package. So they download their image.
That's awesome. And that's an extra part of the whole package that you create.
Yeah, we have it as an add-on.
And proms, things, dances?
I haven't done a prom.
Not yet?
So teenagers scare me. I have 2 daughters at home, and I'm scared of when they'll be teenagers. So.
Nice. Here's a question I always find interesting, because I watch it from doing weddings. How do you feel about wrangling the family for photo time?
It's not bad. It just depends. I usually have the bride and groom assign someone from their family to help corral people, because I have my list. I go in with everyone's names, but it's helpful to have someone there that knows faces.
Exactly, and can find them right away.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. That's
we
actually really
usually-
clever.
Yeah, we're usually pretty quick about it. We get all of the family formals done in probably a half hour or less.
Oh, wow.
So
Do you, how do you use your social media? I always ask this question because it's really interesting. The last, I guess, 10 years have been explosive with social media, with Twitter and Facebook, LinkedIn, Pinterest. How do you use it with your business? And is it
I use all of it. I have a Facebook business page. Usually what I do is I'll do a blog post and then it goes to Facebook. And then I share it on my personal Facebook page because business Facebook pages are horrible now with
Yeah.
the whole, no one sees them.
exactly?
And then it goes to LinkedIn, Google+. I do an Instagram and a Twitter. It's a lot.
It is. I mean, we've
very social.
brought in a social media person just to help us with that, and she's actually my assistant. She helps a lot. But do you find it that it's just like keeping up with just this part of it is like another business within your business?
Yeah. Thankfully now I can do it from my phone.
Better than I am. I mean, it's hard sometimes. And what are some of the venues that you work at?
We've actually had the fortunate, we've worked at a ton of different venues. I'd have to say we're going back to the Colony a couple times this year. I do love Sunday River. I'm a toss-up. I'm a mountain, but also a beach girl, so I can't,
Yeah, choose between.
you know,
both.
I like being in the woods, but I love being on the beach too, so.
Would you say one is better venue for you for lighting and for photos? Which do you say is what capture you, or you just like it?
I like them. We don't require any additional, we bring our lights if we need lights, so, you know, we make, you know, we have the flashes and stuff, so we don't need anything in particular to work.
Here's a question, because do you still get excited when you get published?
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've
There are
been a
people who
nut
say,
about
oh, you know, I'm over. I said, no, it's an exciting thing. I
Yes.
mean, your work is right there. And
Yeah.
so I always like to ask that question. And are you published in a lot of magazines
Yeah.
in this state, or do you go as well as Connecticut?
We go as wherever we have our weddings. So we have a lot of Maine ones because we're in Real Maine Weddings a lot from the main ones. But we've also got a couple featured in the Knot and different places
Excellent.
throughout. So
Congratulations on that.
thank you.
And how far in advance do your clients have to book you?
I usually say about a year because my
So you work like us.
yeah, my season will probably, my 2006 probably be filled or close to being filled by December of this year.
Wow, and then January, February, March of 2016, you're working on that year plus
Yeah.
the following year?
The next year, yeah.
Wow, that's excellent. And how do your clients find you? Do you advertise?
I do just a lot of social media, mostly Google. They'll find me through referrals and through Google usually.
And do you do any bridal shows?
I used to, I haven't. My second daughter was born in December, so it's been to do the bridal shows in January with her birthday. She was born, she just turned 1. So
Congratulations.
we did the Portland bridal show and she was 3 weeks old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my husband walked around bouncing her the whole time because she couldn't go we couldn't leave her at home.
Oh,
So
congratulations. That's
thank
sweet.
you. But this
And-
year I was like, I need a
I'm
break.
just doing it right here. And do you work with other vendors? I'm a fan of the vendor-to-vendor referrals. Like I know you're on our new website that's going to come up. And so do you do the same thing? And do you cross-marketing with other vendors in this industry is a really good resource.
Yeah, I actually have a wedding packet that goes out after they book me. It's a welcome to, there's a list of preferred vendors in there. Usually I get a lot of that in email, like who do you recommend for
Yeah.
flowers or anything, because a lot of my brides are planning from away. I have very few brides that are actually in state. Most of them come from New York, Boston, California and Texas seem to be
wow.
the big ones.
So you're more of a destination photographer. That's
Yeah.
actually, that's neat to know. And do you get those referrals too from, say, like French's Point or the Colony? Do they refer you as well?
Yep, yeah, I
So
get
it's a
some through
win-win.
them. Yeah.
That's excellent. That's excellent. Well, I appreciate you taking time today and
Thank you.
joining us on the show, as always.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and I'll see you next week. Thanks for joining in.